Okay. All right, need the earbuds. Thanks, that upper body stimulation. Okay. Back. Block's handy. All right, just a little stretch, just reaching up. Little climb up with one arm and then climb up with the other arm. Climb, maybe a little turn as you climb, turning away or towards or both. You can even look up at the hand. Good, one more. Good, and release the arms down. Let's just do a little hands on shoulders, just a couple, just feeling shoulder blade, neck, collarbone, upper arm, how they're all connecting. Clickety click, and then changing direction. Goodness, lots of clicking. Just arms, little forward movement with the ribs. Can even lift the chin a little, and then rounding. Good, lengthening and rounding. Back of neck, upper back, and extension. My focus is mostly up. Upper, between shoulder blades and up. And forward. And back. And forward. And back. Good, let's bring the arms down just for a moment. Shoulder blades up, back, down, forward, up, changing direction, forward, down, back, up. Click, click, click. One more, hands on shoulders, just a little turn. Oh, a little different sitting, and turn, and turn. Good. Notice where you get stuck. Notice where there is movement. Notice how you initiate now that we don't have the hips turning. Although one of my knees is definitely going forward. Good, one more on each side. Good, and center. Let's do one ear to shoulder, nice and easy. And other ear. And center, first side, nice and easy. Good. And other side. And center. Let's take head forward and back. Forward and back, right? Little turtle. Head way forward, head way back. Good, and as you bring the head back, feeling that base of the skull just lift up a little bit, maybe the chin drops a little, just lengthening the back of the cervical spine. And forward and back. And let's take the chin at an angle to one side, forward and back. That'd be some kind of disco move. And then over to the other side. Good, last one, forward and back and center. Just a little glance to one side and other side. First side again, nice and easy. So the movement in and of itself can be organizing, right, rather than just looking for end range. Ear to shoulder and other side. Okay, let's actually do one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Let's inhale through the mouth. Inhale into either hand, upper hand or lower, or both, and exhale through the mouth. Just releasing the hinge of the jaw and the throat. 2 more like that. Let's do next one. Next inhale, pause at the top of the inhale. Soften around the pause. Let's inhale a little more. And slowly exhale. Pause. Exhale a little more. Inhale. Inhale a little more. Exhale. Exhale a little more. Inhale. Inhale a little more. Inhale a little more. And exhale. Exhale a little more. Exhale a little more. And just a regular breath, either open mouth or through nose. Just noticing the volume, quality, pacing. And let's inhale for a hum. So long hum through the exhale. Softening hands and shoulders, face, hips, tongue, throat. And let's inhale and exhale with an om, right? That same sense of vibration as a different kind of organization. To heart, to brain, to body. Inhaling. Oh. Yay. All right, simple twist, opposite hand to knee. Again, if you want to go by where your rotation already is, what side of your back is already further back. Letting breath come into those side and back ribs. And slow release, other side. Again, back and side ribs, and noticing the difference this side. One more breath, noticing how the breath has changed in your twist. Good, and first side again. Good, tipping head forward, lifting those back ribs. And slowly bringing the head up, keeping that length and width in the back body. Good. Maybe even noticing the weight in the sitting bones, right sitting bone, left sitting bone, right and left heels. And through center and other side. Good. Chin to chest. Good. Again, a little lift through those back ribs. Maybe more from the breath than kind of muscularizing. And then keeping that width and access to the back body as you roll up. Good. Which sitting bone is light? Lighter. Which foot is lighter? And then coming back to center. All right. So chin to chest, just rounding down. I'm actually going to take my feet a little bit wider. So as I round down, you can either use the blocks, but take your time curling the crown towards the tail just to open up, right? So back bends open up the space between the vertebral bodies a little bit. Forward bends do a little bit of opening up the back. Either way, it's good. Just moving the spine. Okay, one hand down, either on block or on the floor. So I'm taking left hand down, right hand onto my right knee. So I can turn to my right leg. Doesn't matter if you're doing the opposite, but good. Maybe even leaning back. So if I lean onto my left arm, my right hip comes off the chair just a tiny bit. Just notice. Good. And then let's either bring right hand to the sacrum or right arm to the ceiling. You can hand on shoulder if you want. And then release that hand down and switch sides. Left hand on thigh. Again, you could be on the other side, leaning back onto that back leg. Just feeling that length through the waist, side waist. And then hand either on sacrum, good place to start, so you can feel how you are initiating that rotation, right? Maybe it's reaching down through that right arm, turning the right ribs down, leaning back, weighting onto those right ribs, and then left arm up. Maybe hand on shoulder and elbow up. Good, and then left hand down. Good, head down, let's press into the feet and slowly, slowly roll up. Okay, just a little, well, let's take a little jaunt. So just do a couple of these, not a lot. I always say a couple, and it's not a couple. Right ankle, left thigh, just a couple tips. But let's tip and maybe point while we're loaded forward and flex. Just notice what happens. And come back up to sit. Let's do that again. Let's tip. I'm going to point and flex. And come back up one more. So it depends on how you want to come in. You can come in even with a flex. And then move to a point. Little bit of press down into that left leg. And come up a little turn. I'm going to turn away from the leg. So opposite hand to foot, hand on chair, turning away from that knee. Oh, we should have done the other side first. So that's okay. So maybe turning the sole of the foot towards your face. And then turn away while you're in this little bit of a load. And come up. And then do it again. Turn the foot up as you tip. and then turn away and come up one more. Turn up, turn down, and come up. So other side, turning towards that bent leg. So I'm liking having hand under, so I can press hand up into the thigh and thigh into the hand, just so I feel a little less wobbly. And tip. Again, you can play with foot, point, or flex, and come up and tip again, point, and flex, and come up. Let's actually just straighten the bottom leg. Good, maybe a tip. Holding onto the figure 4 leg foot as I tip. The straight leg, sole of the foot is on the ground. And let's come up and then flex the foot. So heels on the ground, toes are to the ceiling, and one more tip. And come up. Good, one more, just tipping forward. Let's slide the hands down that left leg. Little breath, little downward movement in that right ankle. And then slowly come up and right foot down. Good, left leg up. And tip. I'm just gonna pause here as I load the leg and point. Engaging the bottom of the foot, stretching the tops of the toes and flex. And come back out of it. And do it again, tip, point, and flex. And come up and maybe try one coming in a flex. And point. And come up. Okay, let's turn away from the knee. Opposite hand to foot. I'm going to turn that foot up towards me as I tip forward. And then down to the floor. And come up. Let's do it again, turning the sole of it, much less range on this side. What do you notice? And turning the foot down, sole of the foot down. And come up. One more. You can change how you come in. And come up, and then turning towards that lifted knee. Again, I'm going to use one hand behind. Bend. Again, maybe a little point. And flex. And come up. And again, load, little lift. I'm pressing up into the thigh, thigh pressing into the hand, just a little bit, point and flex. And come up, sliding the hands down the lower leg. Your spine might be longer, right? Which might give you more access to the hip or more challenge to the hip. Or rounded. And come up, let's straighten the bottom leg. I'm gonna hold the foot. Sole of the foot of the straight leg is on the floor, little tip. Just loading that straight leg. You can press the foot into the floor and lift and a little flex, heel, pressing down. Good, and coming. Okay. All right. Both feet on the ground. I'm just gonna tip forward. Maybe the arms come back. And then lift the heels and tip forward. I'm actually going to bring the feet in a little closer so I can feel a little press down into the balls of the feet as I load and come up. Let's bring the feet down again and tip. Again, my feet are closer to the chair, so my knees are past my toes. You get to decide. A little more like a ski jump position for me. You get to decide. And then come up, and I'm going to lift one heel and come forward. Again, loading through both feet. and come up, switch, other foot lifts, other foot flat and tip forward. If you want, you can play with arms out to the side for a little more load. And come up, let's lift both heels again, or even reaching forward. Play with arm position and come up, both heels down and tip. And come forward, lift one heel and tip forward. And come up, lift the other heel and come forward. And up and lift both heels forward, pressing down into the balls of the feet and toe pads. Little toe pads, big toe pads, the ones in the middle. And come up. So let's just turn the toes out a slight bit and come forward, load. Again, you get to decide where arms are. Good, and come up. And again, tip. This time I'm going to lift the heels while I'm tipped. Notice where your weight shifts, which leg. And lower. And come up, lift one heel and come forward. And come up, lift the other heel and come forward. And come up, lift both and come forward. Good. Again, pressing ball of foot down, base of toe pads, maybe even base of toes, length of toes. That one's harder for me. And come up and then both feet down and tip forward. And come up, toes in, just a little cruise through this. Toes in, load. And come up, lift the heels and come forward. Again, loading, right foot, left foot, length of toes, toe pads. And come up, feet down again and come forward. This time lift heels up as you're forward. And lower heels. And come up, I'm just playing, just shifting pattern. One heel up, shift forward. And come up, other heel up and shift forward. And come up one more time, both heels up and shift forward. Just a little footwork, leg work, different way. And forward heels down last time, shift forward. Good, and come up. All right. Sitting on the edge of the chair, hands on blocks. So you can have blocks high or you can have middle-sized blocks. I am going to hold my block and reach one arm forward and up and around and back and down. Let's do that a couple more times, 2 more times, forward and up. Take your time. You don't have to keep your right hip pinned or your left hip pinned. You can try, and the other side. Just see what the body does and then adjust, right? Does it help to keep the hip pinned? Does it help to lift it? Do you need to lift the blocks up? One more. Good. Reaching down through one arm, let the ribs turn down so the other side can turn up. Good. First side again, let's switch directions. So go back and up and forward and down, 2 more like that. Again, focusing maybe on feet and other side, turning from the more active side or from the side connected to the ground to open up the other side and switch. One hand reaching down, ribs turning, other arm out and up. And again, back, 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 and up, and forward. And just notice, sometimes it's really interesting to come from the back as opposed to coming from the front. And then pause. Okay, we're going to do a couple more things before we come down, sitting on the chair. Where to start? There's so many things to do, but I'm going to take my sweater off. Okay, so maybe blocks handy in case, just in case you need them, at least one. All right, taking feet a little wider, I'm going to turn knees to one side, letting the body turn with, and then hands on chair. So somewhat like our knee drops. So the pelvis is turning and the arms, right? So getting a little bit of front shoulder, arm goes behind the ribs as you turn away from that arm. One more. And then I'm going to stop on my left side. So my left leg is externally rotating, right leg's internally rotating. I'm going to pause. Just a little anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Again, more to find where am I falling forward, where am I pulling back, and what's the balance that's helpful for my spine, for my breath. Good. Maybe let that right knee tip towards the floor so the right hip is lowering below the left hip. And then hiking, just one more of those. Good. And let's take one arm out and up, my left arm, maybe right arm. Maybe put a little weight in the feet, left foot, right foot. Good. Maybe even straighten that right leg. Keep weighting down the feet. Good. Soften the knee, bring the arms down. So let's bring hands. Well, right hand. No, let's do left hand. So either left hand on block or left hand on the floor. So we did this in the beginning. So left hand down, right hand on the leg. And I am going to straighten that right leg again and turn my belly towards that left leg. So I'm turning to the left. I'm putting a little weight down on that left thigh to help turn. Again, listening. Good. Same thing we did with the block. Let's take left hand, or in the beginning, left hand to the sacrum and letting that right ribs turn down towards the right hand. I'm pushing into that right hand to turn the ribs down, back ribs down to the floor. Maybe the belly turns away from the floor, and then maybe left arm up. Good. And maybe pressing down into that right hand, and just think about scooting the ribs away from the pelvis. Just getting a little length, maybe even the head away from the shoulder. Good, and then let's bring that left hand down, either on the block or on the floor, and take that right arm up. A little bit easier, but reaching down again through that down through the left arm to turn the ribs down, to turn the belly away from the floor, and maybe even up just a little bit. And then maybe if you want, you can take that right arm by your ear. Good. And then right hand down to the floor. Good. A little posterior tilt, curling the sitting bones to the chair, and then come back up and to center. Oh. Okay, other side, turning to the right. Again, left knee is bent. Again, just a little anterior, posterior, just to feel relationship, right? Some of us naturally spill forward towards a little anterior tilt, and some of us naturally curl back, right? So sometimes if we curl back all the time, we need to free up some of the tissue around the sitting bones and the tailbone. And if we fall forward all the time, sometimes we need to free up the pelvic floor. or lower back, right, which is overworking. And let's take left arm up, maybe right arm up. Good, feel some sense of weight, not only in the sitting bones, but that interesting balance between tailbone and pubis. Straightening that back leg, possibly. Good, crown of the head up, ribs up. Good, and then soften that knee. Let's bring the hands to the floor, either hand on block or on floor. Left hand down, right hand on the thigh, turning the belly towards that right leg. Good, and you can even play with pressing into your feet. So you're on the chair, but you're slightly buoyant on the chair. Again, left arm reaching down to help turn the ribs down, to turn the belly away from the floor, and then maybe right arm up. Again, feet pressing down, maybe just lifting off the chair ever so slightly. Good, and then bringing that right hand down and left arm up. Take your time. Again, reaching down through that right arm to turn the ribs, right ribs down, to turn the belly away from the floor. Again, even here, I didn't say this on the other side, but you can even put that left foot flat on the floor or stay up on the ball of the foot, maybe press into the feet and just get a little bit of lift off the chair. And then maybe left arm by the ear. One more breath. And hand down to the floor. Pull some weight into the sitting bones and curl up, knees soft. Okay. Hands. Backs of hands to inner knees. So notice where shoulders are. Notice where collarbones are. See if you can almost widen the collarbones away from the breastbone. Just get some width across the chest and then start to pull the hands into the knees and the knees into the hands. And you keep the chest wide and the mid back wide. Good, and release. Okay, so I'm actually gonna just internally rotate that right leg and then straighten it. Sole of the foot on the ground. So the leg's internally rotating, but I'm pressing almost back into the front edge of the chair. And a little weight on that sitting bone without forcing it. And then arms out to the side. Warrior two. Again, I'm just gonna press the feet down just a little bit. So I'm not just sitting on the chair, but I'm really standing in my legs. And then let's take the right hand down, left arm up. Maybe even look under that left arm as you reach up through that left hand. Maybe look up just a little. And then press into the feet, bring the arms back out. Maybe turn, little spin of the belly towards that left leg. That right hip comes around to the left just a little. Good, maybe take the arms up or keep them out to the side. And then reverse, come back and soften. Good. Just to shake it out. And then let's do the other side. All right, so right leg's gonna turn out, left leg's gonna turn in. Gonna put the left foot flat on the floor and let it press back into the front of the chair. Again, your hips may just be more comfortable tipping onto the right thigh. Just notice it all depends on hips and groin and pelvic floor and spine. Arms out to the side. Left hand down, right arm up. Again, I'm going to look under that arm towards the side of the room, maybe up just a little. Again, just putting a little weight in the feet. And then coming back up. Again, just a little buoyant. Maybe not off the chair, but you could think about coming off the chair. And then turning towards that right leg. Good, either arms out to the side to help you turn or arms up. Just one more breath. And reverse. Okay, feet under you. Let's just shift up onto the legs, nice and slow. Hands on chair. Good, maybe just one or two, squeezing shoulder blades together. Spreading, squeeze, and spread. Let's add a little bit of, so as you squeeze, just a slight spinal extension, let your eyes glance forward. And as you spread, let the eyes look towards the hands. And more subtle, but just adding a little more complexity to the movement. Good. And then let's step the feet back. Knees bend. Knees straighten. Knees bend. And knees straighten. Good. Maybe one more. Knees bend nice and slow so you feel what's happening around sitting bone, groin, pelvic floor, knees, hamstring tendons. Slowly straighten. Good. And walk forward. Oh, last thing. And then we're going to come down onto the floor. And you want to go there, but I'm going to take right leg out and up. Let's actually bend that left knee a little bit so we can lift the leg. And then bring that right knee in, knee towards nose. Right, just scooping the belly up a little bit. And let's lift the left heel. Maybe soften the knee and then extend that right leg back and up. One more, knee into the nose. Let's bring that left heel down and take that right leg back and up, keeping the belly somewhat lifted and down. Other side, left leg back and up. Again, maybe just a little glance forward with the eyes, knees to nose. Think more about lifting the ribs. And then let's lift that right heel. Take that left leg back and up just a little. You can soften that right knee. And then left knee to nose. Lower the heel. Again, just a sense of the ribs lifting as you take that leg back. And lower. Bend knees. Shift your weight into your feet. Slide the hands off the chair and slowly, slowly roll up. Okay. Now onto the floor. See, the cat has become privy to that. All right, dude, we got to move you because that's my spot. It's my spot. Yes, I know. I know. I know. Okay, so lying on your back. We are going to do a couple coming from our X. Couple of rolls coming from the X. Oh. Come on, I don't want to move you, but come on. I know. You're all warm. Okay, so just make sure you have a little bit of room on either side of you. Feet a little wide, arms a little wide, maybe even arms just shoulder. So it's not quite an X. Good. First thing, let's take that right arm up to the ceiling and over, slowly over to the left arm, right? Letting the ribs roll. Your hips are heavy, but they can also rotate. And then take that right arm to the floor and either straight arm or bent arm, trace that arm around the head and back out to where you started. Left arm to the ceiling and over to the right arm. Could be the hand, it could be the elbow. Again, but just letting the ribs roll, head roll, pelvis roll, and then arm tracing around the head and back out to the side. Let's do one more each side. Right arm up and over. Heavy body, heavy head, heavy ribs. Right? Looking for any kind of yielding as you rotate. Right arm up and around and out to the right. Left arm up and over. Ribs, head, shoulders, shoulder blades, and then left arm tracing around the head and back out to the side. Oh, okay. So we did a little bit of this on Thursday. So externally rotating that right knee and sliding it up, it's going out and up, side of body, is that right elbow comes down. So the right elbow and the right knee come towards each other. And it does pull that left arm and left leg towards the right, and that's okay. And then slowly release back to this X shape, X-ish shape. And then externally rotate that left leg, let the left knee bend, let the left elbow bend, let that right side be impacted, maybe move towards the left. Right? So it's a little side body engagement on one side and a nice lengthening on the other side, and then release back out of that. First side again, right leg externally rotates and bends, right elbow bends. As they pull towards each other, left arm starts to move overhead, left leg starts to move under, and keep pulling the knee and the elbow towards each other until that left arm and left leg come all the way around and rest on top of that right side. So you're in a little nut on your right side, little child's pose. And then let that left arm start to slide away. Nice and slow. Getting that nice opening in the side body as you slowly roll back onto the back. Right arm and right leg come back to where we started. Good. Left leg externally rotates. Left arm. Left elbow to knee. Again, let it impact that right side. Right arm sweeping up, right leg sweeping down, and then around, coming onto your side, curled in a little fetal position, and then slowly, slowly unfurl. Feeling that nice side body opening, right arm, right leg moving away from each other, and as you roll, so you get a little bit of back side body, side body, front side body. Coming back onto your back. Just pause, notice what can get heavier. Good. First side again. Right arm bends, right leg bends. Left arm reaches as it gets drawn to the right. Left leg reaches. Gonna roll onto the side into this fetal shape. Excuse me. Gravity. And then slowly unfurling again. Left leg, left arm reaching as you roll onto your back, keeping that right elbow and knee towards each other, and then just bringing your right foot to the floor. Let's press into that right foot, turning the pelvis to the left. Let's take that right arm up to the ceiling and over. So because my left arm was up, I'm just going to roll over that arm, reaching that right hand away from the right foot. But my right foot is still on the floor, so I get that nice front opening of the right leg, thigh, hip, belly. And then let's slide that right foot along the floor away from the right hand. We're pulling that right arm around the head and out to the side. This is why I can't eat cheese. Okay. So left leg externally rotates, left arm bends, left elbow to knee. Again, that right arm is reaching, right leg is reaching as it's being drawn over into a fetal position. And then slowly sneaking away. Right arm, right leg as you roll. So you're kind of rolling from side to back. Left elbow and left knee are still somewhat close together. So you can just step on that left foot. Reach that left arm up to the ceiling. Roll over that right. Maybe even forehead to the floor or hand on that right arm or head on that right arm, sorry. Left foot flat in that opposition, left arm, left leg. Start to straighten that left leg, slide it away from the left arm to bring the pelvis back. Left arm traces around the head, coming onto your back. Pause. Breathe. We'll do one more. We'll add one more thing to this series. Externally rotating, right arm, right leg, drawing arm to knee. Long left side as it's rolling. And onto your side, fetal position. Good. And then left arm, left leg. Reach away from each other as you roll back. Getting that nice side body opening. Right foot plants. The right arm reaches up and over. Good. This time I'm going to bend that right leg a little more by sliding the right foot towards the left hip. Good. And then maybe just letting that right leg straighten enough, but slide towards the left leg, over the left leg, and roll onto the belly. And let's take that right leg, elbow to knee with the belly down. So the knee slides up, the elbow slides down, bring the left hand down, slide the hands a little closer to the ribs. And then put some weight in your pubis and maybe just press into the hands and lift to the belly just a little bit, just to get into that right inner thigh, groin, and lower down. Left arm slides up under the body and takes hold of that right knee. And let's take the right arm up to the ceiling and slowly out to the right. So pelvis turns. Good. Left hand is following with that right knee needs. Right arm moving towards the floor. Right knee moving up into the left hand. So in a little side twist. And then slowly straighten the right leg, slide it towards the left leg, up and over, and back to our X. Pause. What else can settle? Good. Other side. Left elbow, externally rotate that left leg. Knee to elbow. Right side long as it's being drawn to the left, rolling into that fetal shape. And then right arm, right leg reaching away as you roll on to your back. Planting that left foot. You can keep that right arm close to the head. The left arm goes up and over. Finding that opposition. Again, maybe slide the left foot towards the hip. And even press into that left foot. Reach the left knee away from the left hand. Good, and then slowly straighten that left leg. Let it slide to the right leg, up and over the leg, and roll onto the belly. Just feeling that belly against the ground. Good, let's externally rotate that left leg. Slide the left knee towards the left elbow. Slide the hands back towards the ribs. Maybe even lower ribs, pubis heavy. Maybe press into the hands, do a little lift of the front body. Tiny lift. And lower. Just the upper body, shoulders, just getting into the groin. And then right arm comes up and under the head, looking for that left thigh. Left arm up to the ceiling, slowly out to the left. And you might end up on your right side. Good. Left arm towards floor, left leg up into the right hand. Good. Extending that left leg. Letting it slide towards the right leg, up and over. And out to the side. Let's just bend knees and do just a couple cat-cow, nice and slow. Just flip a right hip and left hip and train. Like that movement, bilateral movement, letting the two sides look for each other and pacing. As the belly and back start to sync up, can you also notice the ribs lifting and lowering, or the head nodding, right nose moving towards the breastbone and away. And pause. You can use your blocks for under your thighs. You can slide towards a couch or a chair, put your legs up on something. And then coming back to your breath. Simple inhaling. And inhale a little more. And exhaling. And exhaling a little more. and a little more diffuse than what we started with. Finding a rhythm and a spaciousness within your own breath. So keep adjusting the breath so it's easier. There's more, right? Again, there's less muscular effort or obvious muscular effort. Softening in the throat, jaw, tongue, bridge of nose, behind the eyes, back of neck, throat, mid back, chest and belly, right? The exterior of the body and the interior of the body. Moving deeper into your experience, maybe a little further away from the surface. Into the inner landscape. Into thoughts and feelings, imaginings, creations. Even into a sense of the depth of who you are, the vastness of who you are, the essence, spirit, soul.